Hello, this is Mickey and Mike over here at Sitka Pioneer Home. And Mickey's going to show us how to make some turmeric black pepper tablets or pills.
Or capsules.
Capsules.
Lot capsules, as it were. So background is, I had osteoarthritis for years and found myself taking a lot of ibuprofen to get rid of that pain. And I knew from my years as a paramedic and in the medical field that long term that's not good for your liver and kidneys and stuff like that. So I started looking for an alternative, and I came across the combination of turmeric and black pepper. Now, a lot of people know that turmeric is good for your immune system, it's good anti-inflammatory, but turmeric by itself is a piker compared to turmeric with black pepper. And what happens is when you mix black pepper with turmeric, it potentiates the uptake or the availability of it in your system. So the recommended concentrations would be 3 parts turmeric and 1 part black pepper. Now I buy these in bulk from Amazon usually, and I buy organic powdered turmeric and organic powdered black pepper. And when I order from different manufacturers, because I found that when you got turmeric, sometimes it's a bright yellow, sometimes it's almost orange. It varies quite a bit, and black pepper can go from very, very black to some that's kind of almost tannish like this. So I figure by mixing it up from time to time, you're going to get the effects of different kinds. And what we're going to make up is we're going to mix up the powder in here, and then it perfectly fits. If you know these Parmesan cheese containers, this will perfectly house the amount we're going to make, and then it makes it easy to use when we use it. And it just is a very convenient thing. So we're going to do that. So we'll start by making our powder, because that's the first thing we got to do. And generally you need a bowl, spoon or a slotted spoon, measuring cup. I usually use a half cup and a full cup, but this is full with markings, so we'll make that work. And then we have our powder. So to mix things up completely, it's easier to layer them to begin with. Anybody that does baking knows that if you're doing big batches, the best way to mix your stuff is not mix and mix and mix forever, but to layer it to begin with. So that's what we're going to do. And you got to do 3 parts of this to 2 parts of this. So we'll start with 1 cup turmeric. And we're not talking about pharmaceutical, down to the nanogram. We're just talking about 3 parts to 1. So
That is orange.
that's a little more than 1. So we're going to just take a little of the extra. There's 1. Now we're going to level that out, and then we're going to go with a half a cup of this. You can see if you go 1 half, 1 half, 1, that's your 3 cups of turmeric to 1 cup of, because we're only going to put a half a cup of black pepper.
Okay.
So it's an easy way to remember. Just start with your turmeric and vary. The same thing here. We got. Let's see what my half cup is. Precisely 1/2 cup. Another cup of turmeric.
That is very orange, isn't it?
Yeah. And some of them are brighter than this, and some of them are more like mustard yellow. It's very interesting. As you use this over time, you'll find that it's pretty fascinating, the varieties of turmeric, the variety of the appearance of the turmeric. That's a little too much.
And you go with pepper powder, obviously.
Ground. Fine ground is the best.
Okay.
Because then it's going to mix the best with your turmeric. Okay, so that's a total of 2 1/2 cups, or 1 part black pepper. So now we can carefully do this. You find yourself sneezing a lot down with the pepper. And now we put our final cup of turmeric. Okay. We now have 3 parts ground organic turmeric in this bowl. And we have 1 part black pepper. Now, you can see the colors. Our goal now is to mix this until it's completely homogeneous in color. If there's any streaks, if there's any, you see how quickly it's going to go because we've layered this. I've done it the other way where I just put all the pepper in and it's like it takes 3 times as long to mix it. So if you layer it like this, you can see how quickly it's kind of coming together. So you can also see the streaks that happen in there. And as long as there's any streaks of any color, you're not totally mixed. When you get all done, it'll be one homogeneous color, and then you know that you've mixed it up because we're putting them in double-aught capsules. So if you have a streak like that, then it's not going to be 3 to 1. And I usually use a slotted spoon because as we do it, that also speeds the mixing of it. But it's okay. We're talking and hanging out, getting our preparation done. I got to tell you, since I started using this stuff, some people in less than a week of taking this morning and night I noticed an amazing difference in the amount of pain they're having in their feet. And now, unless I overdo it or stress myself out somehow or something like that, I don't take ibuprofen for my knees or ankles or any of that kind of stuff now. It's completely changed the amount of anti-inflammatories I need to take. And I might mention, an added benefit of this is turmeric, as we mentioned, is really good as an anti-inflammatory. It also is very good for your immune system.
Yes.
So in the days of nasty viruses that some people make out to be the killer of all men, COVID, this is really good for you. As is, by the way, where this is not a thing about that, but vitamin D, when people have significant levels of vitamin D in their blood, death by COVID is almost unheard of. So that's another thing that in these days, especially we live in Alaska, most people know that D3 is good for you. Now, if you'll look closely now, you'll see as I stir it, I don't see any other, you're a little close, but shading it, but you can see it's all the same color. See the way no matter where I rake this, I don't get any streaks of black, I don't get any streaks of yellow. So that's nice and uniform.
Looks good.
Now we have our mixture of turmeric and black pepper. So we're going to use this to fill up our jug. We'll just do it this way, I guess. When I'm at home, I use the plastic canning jarring funnel. They have a big kind of a half moon shape with a round opening for filling jars. Just fits in here. But this will just take us maybe an extra 29 seconds. The same thing done. And you'll find that you can make at least 1,000 capsules.
Wow. So how many of those capsules do you take a day?
I take 2 a day. I take 1 in the morning and 1 at night. And I find that that's perfect. I generally recommend, if they've never taken it before, just because I don't know how their stomach is sensitive to, say, pepper, is to just take 1 with it and eat it with a meal.
Sure.
And if you take 1 with a meal and it doesn't bother you, then I would recommend, unless you're a really small person, I would take 2 a day. I would take 1 in the morning and 1 at night. And I've taken 2 in the morning and 2 at night just to see if it made a difference. And I really found I didn't need to take that much. It didn't bother me. Because really all we're eating here is food, right? That's the other beauty about this. There's no pharmaceuticals. This is food. This is organic food. So if organic food can make us healthier, I'm pretty happy about that. All right. So there we go. There's our powder. Now, next thing is going to be to introduce you to the parts of the capsule making machine. You can buy these online if you look around for about $30, $35 complete. You have some assemblies required. The handle comes separately with the 2 screws that hold it on, and they give you this little wimpy screwdriver that
Okay.
absolutely won't do the job. So just throw that in your eyeglass drawer or something, because that's about all it's good for. But it's very cool because it just fits 100 This makes 100 capsules, 10 times 10. Make 100 capsules at a time. My wife and I sit down and do this together, and it takes us about less than an hour from the time we say, oh, let's make some turmeric capsules. And we sit down, and we usually make 200 at once. And by the time we set up, make them all, put everything away, clean up, less than an hour. And we're having a lovely conversation while we do it, because once you've done this a couple times, you don't have to think about the order. It's a little intimidating initially because you go, which way is up and how does all this stuff work? This is kind of the main part. This is spring loaded. And this is where the big parts of when you get these taken apart, we're going to be putting this on here and putting our capsules in. And this is kind of tapered. So as you put a big old pile of the large halves of these, which you'll see in a minute, you shake them around, they just start falling in there, and you just keep going until they're done. And generally you'll have another bowl or something sitting on the side. We'll use cups in this case. That's what we have. So when you're all done, you think you got them all filled up, then just knock the excess capsules in there. Once in a while I get it exactly, or within one, which is cool. And then you get them in there, and then you take this off, and as you'll see in a minute, you can see which ones didn't fill, and fill them in. Every once in a while, if you fill the whole thing up, 2 or 3 will be an upside down with the dome facing up. They don't fill up very good that way, so you just have to push it down and get a hold of it and flip it over. So that's this part. Now this is in the loading tray that will go on top of that. Once this is full, we put the turmeric in there, and we'll fill them up and tamp them down. I'll show you that in a minute. Now meanwhile, while I've got this ready, once I've filled this up and I've done the big ones are in here, I'm all ready, I'm 100%, then I pass this off to my wife, and then I put this on and begin filling with turmeric. Well, meanwhile, she'll be over on the other side of the table doing this. You take this lower part, you can tell which is the lowest part because these are flat on the bottom. That's the bottom. Mm-hmm. If you're not sure how that goes, you could write in white bottom. But this goes on the bottom, and then you load your tray on there again. It goes on like that. Now you fill that up with the small parts of the capsules, which you'll see in a minute, and shake, 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 move them around. Again, they're tapered, so they mostly go in there upside down. When you're all done, take a look and make sure they're all full, and all the small caps will be there. And then you put this on the correct way, and the correct way for this is there's 2 little slots. See this slot here and this slot here? Mm-hmm. That goes up. So this just goes on top, and they lock together. Well, meanwhile, I'll get this completely full, which you'll see in a little bit. You take this, don't let it come apart, or you'll have a giant mess. You'll have half capsules everywhere. Mm-hmm. And as it is, you'll be finding capsules on the floor for several days. So you take this, hold it together, flip it over, and then that fills it just like that. And then you're going to be taking this off, and the capsules will be there, and you have to snap them together. Snap, 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 snap. Get a bunch, and then knock them in. We're going to show you how that goes in a minute. So for now, we're going to take a break, and we're going to separate these capsules, which I'll show you here real quick, and then we'll take a break. You guys don't want to sit here and watch us while we split 200 capsules into each part. This is a challenging part for me. Semi-gimpy hand that makes life challenging. Okay. So these are the capsules, and you open this up. I like to have a large and a small bottle, so it's visual as well as you don't need it. It takes up less space. So you separate them, large, small. Repeat till they're both full. So let's take a break, and we'll do that here, and then we'll join you back when we're ready to make capsules.